You are with the Skeinz Diaries. Today is Monday, the 31st of October. I'm Marie, episode 205. I hope you are having a very good day wherever you are today. Crazy old weekend weather-wise here for us in New Zealand, at least, particularly the top half of the island. Rather soggy. I do have a confession to make. I was away, as many of you know, on Thursday. I wasn't here. I had some business and work to attend to in Auckland, and I was up there, got back last night. And I have to say, it was very, very sodden coming home yesterday. And I forgot to take my knitting. I packed everything else, had everything there, had my little project bag out, ready to go. And it literally wasn't until I was not far out from coming into Auckland itself and I realised I've left that project bag sitting on the bed, and it was there when I got home. So I haven't done any knitting at all since Wednesday. I didn't even get any done last night. And I was a bit gutted because thought I could work on my Niata, but it's all right. It was quite nice anyway. I did lots of cooking and catching up with a friend over the weekend once my business concluded on Friday. So it was quite good. So good morning to everyone. I hope all your weekends went well. And there was a lot of knitting I see that happened over the weekend. Just having a look at Speakeasy this morning, plenty going on in there, including some really gorgeous projects which I know are being double entered over at the Outlaw October, which is last day of October today, but that is almost concluded, I think, with the ending of the Mystery Knit Along with Stephen West. So there's still plenty of good knitting to be had out there, which is lots of fun. The good thing, though, for the weekend is I now have a massive number of TV to watch, because I've been doing a lot of audiobooks, but TV to watch with my knitting, things that I weren't aware of, shows that were on, and I was like, oh, was showing them on the weekend, sort of a couple of episodes. So I now got very, very excited about those. So that's lots of fun too. So that's always a good thing. It is always a good thing. So back today, Monday, we've literally just rocketed in from the mill. Good morning, everyone, and had a catch up over there. It's actually been a month since we've had our mill meeting and catch up with the team. So it's it's been a morning. Good morning, everyone. Everyone is so busy here. It's so good to see everyone. Now, I am getting actually the newsletter, hopefully, once I've concluded this, should be out very early this afternoon. This afternoon is the plan. And it was really nice, actually, this morning to walk in, because I've got a few things that I want to get through this week to let you know about it. But this morning, I was really delighted because, of course, today's the last day for our surprise month. And then, of course, next month is tomorrow, new month, isn't it? Tomorrow. It's very exciting, new month. So I've got, I want to send you out some information for that. I'm working on I know the idea of what I want for the theme for the Speakeasy for next month, but I haven't quite narrowed it down to the right word yet. Once I know that, I will get that out to you. But make sure you get your stuff posted up into the Speakeasy today for the surprise theme to go into that prize draw, which is really fantastic. Next month's prize draw, I can tell you, will be a prize pack, and it will be including our beautiful roving yarn. And the reason for that is we're going to be having a special spotlight on roving across the entire month. November is one of the months that we allocate in the year for a spotlight on a total range. And we thought roving needed some love. It was launched in August, but we haven't really done too much with it. So it will be having a special price, plus I will be coming up with loads of pattern ideas for you. And my new project to cast on, I've decided, in roving, is going to be the basket weaver shawl from Stephen West, because I have seen everybody who has been knitting them, and I love them, and I love the genius idea in it. I love the really graphic look of it. It screams, it's everything that I personally like. And one of the colours that he had in the sample that he did is just like one of the shades that we have in roving, and I think it would look incredible. So I'm going to cast that on because I think roving will look really fantastic in that shawl. So that is the plan stands. So that is what I'm going to be working across this month. So I'm not going to do the Stephen West MCAL. I'm going to do the basket weaver instead. And I think that that should be lots of fun. So I'm going to do up, if you want to win for next month, you'll be winning a basket weaver prize bundle from Roving. So it'll be all the yarn you need from Roving plus the pattern all in a lovely bundle. And there might be a few other goodies in there as well to lift the value up. So that's the prize pack for next month, starting from tomorrow. And I'll get that theme out. But the good news is when I arrived back this morning, there was a little pile on my desk with a wee note from Claire saying, and in fact, here we go. I missed one. Did I leave one sitting? I did. I left one sitting on the desk. That's okay. She said, loaded these for Monday, smiley face, fodder for the diary. She says, bless her heart. So I was quite excited about that because I knew that these were there and I've been waiting for her to have some of these loaded because we're really excited about them. And it actually leads in perfectly to the other thing I was going to talk about today, which was our flight merino. So what am I talking about? The first thing I'm talking about is some new patterns. We've had a huge, big order of patterns come in. So for those that aren't aware, several years ago, the Cleckheaton and Bendigo Woolen Mills had a bit of a merger and they became the Australian Yarn Company. And they've just recently celebrated 100 years with patterns. And I've been talking about they've had those wonderful patterns that they've just re-released for their 100th birthday, which are amazing. They've really hit their straps now that they've been going a few years and got through all this pandemic hoo-ha, and they're really now churning out some great work. And one of the things that they've been doing is going through lots of catalogues, doing reprints of some really favourite patterns and making those available again, and also too getting a body of design work done across those few years and actually getting some releases and some pattern books released. Now we've had, I can't tell you the number of requests that we've had in the shop from people for those, and because we just assume that, I mean, it's very, very easy to assume and expect that everyone is just going to get everything online, and the reality of it is some people like the tactile nature of a book. They don't necessarily like to download something online, or they like the ability to own their book and do what I do. I love a good book or a magazine, as you know. Because I like to be able to take that pattern, photocopy the pattern for when I'm going to knit it, so then I can scribble all over it and make my notes and do all of those sorts of things. And then I will often keep those. I will actually always keep those patterns once I've copied them out, and I have a folder of when I've knitted stuff. With all my notes on them. So if I go back to that pattern, I will actually pull it out, check the notes, change sizings and what have you, and then I'll often recopy and do a fresh set of notes depending on what I'm doing. So we have done a huge order of patterns from them, and the first ones of those we've just got up on the pattern page and got released for you. And I thought, and the perfect thing about these is the ones that are up and I'm going to show you are also ideal with our flight merino, because a lot of them are using baby merino, Paton's merino, totem and the like, and our flight fits ideally with those. And the other thing too is the new flight is on the water, but unfortunately, as I've mentioned previously, there is going to be a price increase because, of course, it's the way of the world at the moment. Everything has gone up, and whilst we've held the price after the last shipment that came in, this next shipment with the drop of the dollar and freight and all the rest of it, we are having to sneak the price up. However, you do have a window. You have a window. That price will not be going up until the 14th of November. So you've got the next 2 weeks to be able to get all the current flight yarns that are in stock at the moment at the current price before all the refresh stocks that come in will be going up. And at the moment, I think everything is sitting at $5.95 and $6.95, and they'll be going up to $6.50 and $7.50. So $7.50 for the flight light merino and $6.50 pretty much for everything else. But you can still buy it currently at $5.95 and $6.95. So that's good news. Here are some of the patterns. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one that I think you're going to get most excited about. Is they have re-released shepherd pattern. This is probably arguably the most popular baby pattern in this part of the world, down under, and that is the classic Shepherd 759. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen this knitted on the speakeasy, how many times people have been trying to find it and look for it. It went out of print for a good long time. You could had people scoured op shops for it. It is such a massively popular pattern, and the Australian Yarn Company have now just re-released it back into leaflet form and made sure that it's all updated and everything is in there. So we're really delighted to have that back. It's from newborn up to 18 months old. It's everything for the coat and the leggings. And you can, oopsie daisies, and it uses DK yarn. My son, my oldest son, was given a couple of these actually when he was born. One of them was a navy blue. I've been trying to find the photo. I've got this fabulous photo of him in the autumn sitting down wearing this with the hood up. He's got bright red. My son's got bright red curly hair. So he's got bright red curls there with a huge grin on his face and lots of leaves around him. And it's the cutest photo ever. And do you think I can find it? Because I was going to pop that up because it's in this pattern. So these are loaded. If you've been wanting to get this in your pattern library as a absolute standard go-to for any baby, this is it. I'm actually definitely going to be knitting one of these because I know someone in my life, is a friend is having a baby, and I think that this is going to be the perfect pattern. Yeah, Janice is saying her 40-year-old lived and has lasted forever. They do last forever, and the sizing is great, and look, you can't go past a classic. The classics never date. So we've got a whole heap of these in stock. So you can go pop over and purchase that. The next one, and in fact, while I've got this up, Flight Merino is perfect for this. So I should have grabbed the swan, shouldn't I? Because that's the perfect colour for that. It's the same colour as that one. I didn't even think to grab that. But the Flight DK is just brilliant for that, Flight Merino DK. And you're looking at, this is the other thing I love about this pattern. So you're looking at, for the coat, 5 balls, and for the leggings, 3 to 4 balls. So if you're going to do, if you grab 10 balls of this, you know, you've got the full outfit on that, the leggings plus the jacket, or even just 5 balls will do you the jacket with the hood. And as I said, $5.95 on the Flight Merino DK. And we do still have some great colours left of that, including that green, which is the Katie did, which is just a great everyday green. I'm very fond of this one actually. This is the I think this is the heron. This is the heron, which is this beautiful soft misty grey, which is really brilliant. And if you want something a bit deeper and fun, this is Tui. This is the beautiful rich teal color. This one is a really good doer, especially if you're wanting a deeper shade. Like I know on my son, this would have looked amazing, absolutely amazing for him. But it's just something a little bit different from the standard pinks, purples, and powder blues and lilacs and what have you. This, I think, just makes a really nice, great option. So those are all really good options for this. If you're lucky enough to have some Flight Naturals in your stash, I think this would look amazing. But essentially, any DK yarn is a doer for this. So that is up now. While we're still on babies, this is the other one, the collection that Claire got in. It's called Merino Baby. I love it. It's a really contemporary collection. So we've gone from absolute classics to something a little bit more modern and contemporary. So these are all knits. These are really fun knits for modern babies. And they've used, you know, quite the modern kind of colour palette. So lots of these sort of neutrals. So again, if this book is actually divided up into 4-ply and 8-ply. So it's pretty much evenly split between the two. So again, the Flight Merino DK is fabulous. If you want to do some of the 4-ply, we do still have some of the Flight Light Naturals that would look amazing in these. I'll just show you one that I think would look incredible. Oopsie daisies. I mean, that little guy at the back there would look incredible in Flight Naturals Light. We do have still some of that. Also, too, if you like these really lovely sort of greys, and isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? That the blackberry stitch and flight. Orb is the other great yarn for anything in this collection. But there's all sorts. There's hats, there's boots, there's socks, there's rompers, there's ponchos. In fact, I'll flip that round. There you go. I'm going to put this out in the newsletter so you can see there's a neat blanket, but it's very contemporary. They've obviously used a natural colour palette of whites and charcoals, fawns and taupes, but you can do anything on it, obviously. And there's some really neat blankets in there, cardigans, hoodies, hats. It's a full collection, and again, from newborn to 2 years. So that is now up and available. But the other thing that often we get really frustrated with is, whilst there's plenty of stuff for babies, it's also finding stuff for kids. We've actually found that often that 2 to 10 year age group is a real difficult group to do. Lisa F has done a great job. She's actually done a lot for that age group. And in fact, that's how we started working with Lisa, is because we were looking stuff for that age group. Margaret's asking how many balls. If it's for that little cardigan, Margaret, the one which one, darling? The blackberry stitch. If it's the blackberry stitch one, let's have a look. The blackberry hoodie is anywhere between 5 and 11 balls, depending on which size you're doing. So 5 for newborn, up to 2 years at 11, and then essentially a 1 to 2 ball increment up from that. And then the other one, actually the last one, the oopsie daisies, the cardigan, the lace collared cardie, which is that first one I showed you, which was in the 4-ply, that is 2 to 4 balls for that. So that's how much you need for those. Claire got this collection in, Kids Classics. This is a fabulous collection. If you've got kids that you need to do, then this is amazing. Jude, does Skeinz have a mustard 4-ply? And I'm just looking over. Yeah, we've got 2, and I'm just seeing if we've got them in stock. I'm leaning over Jude and having a look. We've got Albertine Midnight Sun, which I can see on the shelf, so that's in stock. And the other one is Gold and Orb. Now I don't know whether that's the Orb Fine. I know that's in stock. I'm not certain on the DK, but so those are the 2 mustards that we have. So Albertine Midnight Sun and Orb Gold. In merino. We also have a mustard in the roving as well, which is 100% wool, but it's a softer wool. We don't have a mustard in flight. We've actually done, we've got a gold actually in flight instead. So that's what we've got there. Right, anyway, back to this, Kids Classics. These are great because they are a collection of vests and cardigans and hoods and jackets that just suit every kid. They have been designed to use both in DK, and they've got here the Bluebell Merino 5-ply. Having worked with the Bluebell before, I definitely can tell you that you can just use the just regular 4-ply. And I'll show you one that was done. Hold on, let me find. Oh, it doesn't have that at the back. Let me find you one that was done in the 5-ply. So in the 5-ply, they use the 3.75 millimeter needle. You can get away with that. You can actually get away with a DK in that, to be fair, but you can use a 4-ply on that if you need to. So Flight Light will work with that. But also too, the other yarn, if you're wanting to do the 5-ply patterns in here on the 3.75 millimeter needle, there are 2. If you've got a kid that's not particularly sensy with yarns, Southlander Sport at that tension looks freaking amazing. And particularly if you're doing, so that one there, that's like a little vest. I memean, is he not the cutest thing you've ever seen? That little vesty type cardigan where it's actually not sitting and rubbing it with a deep V-neck around their necks. Southlander in that would look great. Cove 4-ply is another one that works really, really well in that weight and on that needle. So that is certainly another one to consider. But they are, like a sort of sports, sort of grandpa style cardigans. All of these are done in pieces, people. So if you're if you're somebody that likes to do a bit of seaming, then these are for you. And actually, I'm going to just run through these. Classic cabled vest. There you go. Look, little grandpa cardigans and jackets. I mean, isn't he just the cutest thing you've ever seen? I think he's so cute. A little dress and vest. These are a couple of cardigans and a hoodie. Classic V-neck vest. And a really pretty little cardigan. And then just, classic jumpers, roll neck. I mean, I can't tell you how many jumpers like this I did for my boys. That's the sweater version. And I mean, see, this sweater here, whilst it's on this pretty wee lass, that it wouldn't need to be, I mean, nearly every single design in here could be for any child. Okay, so don't, even the classic cardigan like that, throw that in navy blue and it could be on any kid. It could be a grandpa style cardigan for a tween. So there are just so many options here. As I said, I'm going to pop this into the newsletter so you can have a look. So you've got 13 designs there, and they're just great. And I mean, some of these stripy ones great for using up stash, but again, for the DKs, the flight DKs are fabulous. Grab them now while you can with the price, and actually, like even things like that for a lot of that color combination looks amazing. If you're going to be doing some striping, that's another one that also looks really good. So grab those now. Most of these run, as I said, because they're size 2 to 10 years. If you're looking for how many you need, you basically, the vests run from about 3 to 5 balls. The jackets run from about 9 to 15, depending on the size of the jackets, and then pretty much everything in between. So those are those. How much are the books? I knew you were going to ask me that, so let me have a look. I'll look those up. I haven't even. They are, and then I can actually put this link in the comments, because Claire's been really good and popped them at the top of the page for me. So the books are $27.95 for a couple of books. One of the other books which is the one that I've left. The kids classic book is $36.95 because there's more patterns in there. So between $27 and $36.95. And before you go, the leaflets are $11.95. So it's actually really good value because as you said, you're getting 13 patterns. So that is so 36 is $3 a pattern is what you're paying for. And when you're dealing with kids classics like that, everyone's a winner. And at $3 a pattern, that's pretty good going. This is the other one that's their classic men's nuts. If I had $1 for every time someone comes in and asks me for standard crew neck sweater, standard V-neck sweater, standard raglan sleeve sweater, standard satin sweater, standard vest, this is essentially a book of templates. This is the book of, and as it says here, men's classic knits, 38 design options featuring 5, 8-ply and 12-ply yarns. Now, if you love our Southlander and you love knitting for Southlander, this is a must-have for your library, because this is essentially your template book for anything that you want to knit with our Southlander yarns, and any sort of basic construction is there. You can pimp it up or jazz it up with colours or what have you, but this gives you the basic templates for everything that you need. This is an absolute sitter from cardigans, from so I mean, look at that. And I mean, it says here, I mean, look, the book says here men's classic nuts. Tish tosh. I mean, that, these are just, it should be just classic nuts for grown-ups, because all of these are just classic for everybody. They are fantastic. I mean, that's just a basic standard sweater. And it gives you, the thing I like about this is it gives you everything from 5-ply, that sweater in 5-ply, 8-ply, and 12-ply. It also gives you the options to do a a V-neck or a roll neck. Everything you need to know. It is just an absolute complete set. And here we go. Here's the jumper with the set-in sleeves. So honestly, Greg is saying perfect, exactly what I know, Greg, right? This is literally, I'm so glad that they have put this out. It is, I mean, I'll be buying one of these, because it just gives you, I can now take this and then knit whatever I need to from this, giving me the template for everything that I need, all the information I need to make whatever subtle modifications, but it gives you, they've done most of the working out for you. I mean, so many of these modifications I actually have to end up doing. How often do you find the perfect cardigan pattern written in one weight, but you want to do it in another weight? They've actually divided all of those out for you and given you all the measurements that you require and all the grading. They've done all the hard work for you. They've also taken these two from chest measurements, actual size chest measurements to fit from 105 to 155, so that's 3XL. So that's actually more generous than they've gone in the past. Traditionally, these patterns often only would go up to an XL, or if you were extremely lucky, a 2XL. They've now moved these to a 3XL. Now, that in at 155 centimeters, that is a very, very generous 3XL. So they've gone and done that, and they've even there's the classic vest, right? I can't tell you how many times that I've had to explain to people how to chop off the sleeves on a pattern. Well, you don't need to. They've already done this. This for me, I think, is this is gold. Absolute gold. And so we've got this one as well. So that one is, I think this one's $27.95. Yeah, $27.95. So I just think that this is brilliant. So it's got all of them worked out, as I said, using a mixture between 5-ply, 8-ply, and 12-ply yarn. Honestly, this has got Southlander written all over it. You wouldn't even have to worry. You just, as written, Southlander, boom, you're there. If you didn't want to use Southlander and at the finer weight yarns, and you wanted to use something with a wee bit softer, I would definitely look at Cove. I think would be a great option. I was just looking at actually Cozy and Snug is also another good one. Cozy would actually be a good option for this. We've still got a little bit of Little Bandit left, actually. If you wanted to stock up on some Little Bandit, that would be ideal for the 5-ply version. What else would be good on the 5-ply version for this? Soft Mortician at a pinch, actually, because of the blue. But I just think Southlander all day long. Southlander, Highlander Heathers. It is such a happening thing. You could actually get away with light naturals but this is amazing. And then the last one I forgot to grab, which was another reworking of vintage nuts, but I'll talk about that one next time, because I'm really excited about these. So all of these, as I said, are in book form. They're all worked flat. They're all absolute classics. And I've got more coming. So don't think that these are just the ones that we can get. And we should hopefully be able to get these quite readily if we need to get more in. So I am super, super excited to have these in now. So it's really great, great news. So do make sure you check out, look at the patterns you've already got, have a look at some of these, work out what your requirements may be for some of those of what you require. And just to give you an idea with these men's ones, I mean, we've all been there and done that, but like in a vest, you're looking at, I'm just going to give you DKs now, but have they actually given us the requirement? Oh, stop it. She has done the requirements. There we go. In the vest, they've done the vest for example, the vest in 5-ply and DK. So you're looking at 8 to 13 balls in the 5-ply and 10 to 16 in the DK. And I have to admit, the recommendations across, you can pretty much do a one-to-one substitute with a lot of these, which is quite good news. So yeah, look, there's lots of really fantastic little bits and bobs, and even the 12 plies. Actually, you can get away with even things like some of the Skeinz tweeds that we've got. Will actually size up to a 12 ply if you need them to as well. There's plenty there to be had, so do make sure you do that. Whilst I was away, we did actually throw these up. I did pop a note out before I disappeared. If you haven't already had a look over on the sale page, we have been doing just a little bit of a spring clean. So there are actually a few items still available over there if you haven't checked it out for a week or two or across the weekend. Go and jump and check those out. There's some really good bargains to be had there. What else have I got? Oh, we've got so much coming this month. We've got some kits actually. I know Dell got a blanket onto the courier for us, which we'll be able to show you for later in the week. And those are some kits that will probably be going up, hopefully, fingers crossed, week after next for Christmas giving or Christmas knitting. We've got the Glencoe, the new Highlander Heathers Glencoe. That was in it bawling when I was at the mill this morning. So that is imminent. That is imminent. And I know you guys are loving the Scotch Mist and the are the books online? Yes, Bev. If you scroll, Bev's asking, are the books online? If you just scroll back up in the comments, Bev, you'll see that I've popped the link there. You're loving the Scotch Mist and the Brigadoon. Glencoe's not far away. They haven't started blending Stornoway yet, so that's possibly not going to be until the very end of the month, next month. But they're great. So I tell you what, if you've been looking for those Highlander Heathers, and to be fair, even these kids' classics, because those Highlander Heathers feel great. And I know that I knitted Southlander and stuff for my kids, no worries whatsoever, particularly the vests and things. They didn't. Trust me, when they're roughy tufty and rolling around at school and kindy and all of those sorts of places, you need something with a little bit of to survive. Particularly if you've got really outdoorsy, roughy tufty kids. I had 2 boys, so you could imagine the knits needed to be made tough for my 2. So that's some loads of fun there. Right, I'm going to head away and get this newsletter finished so you can have that in your inboxes before too long, and get actually working on. I need to actually download. I need to download Basket Weaver and actually get that all sorted so I can start that tonight. So that will be fun. But until then, I hope you have a really great week. I will definitely be back on Thursday. We're back to normal transmissions. And if you have anything that you want to post up before the end of the month to get into the draw on the Skeinz Speakeasy, make sure you jump in and get that happening now. And I'll be making that draw tomorrow. Until then, you have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you on Thursday. Bye.